Yeah, hello everybody. This is Hybrid, and basically just want to say goodbye, Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes. I'm not going to do an individual episode review anymore. I'm just going to review the season in whole because I got to watch all of season 2. I gotta admit though, it was really good. I'm going to really miss this show. It's basically the end of an era, for Marvel and their animation, because if you didn't know, Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, Wolverine the X-Men, Hulk versus both films, Hulk versus Wolverine, and Hulk versus Thor. That, and I forgot what the other thing is as well. But yeah, those are all part of what was called the Christopher Yost universe, as he was the head story person or writer behind those three things, and he did confirm it himself that all those universes are connected. So basically, a lot of people asked about this ever since the X-Men, and ever since the Spider-Man of in the 90s ended. People have been asking for this, another whole Marvel animated universe thing, and we got it, but now it's over. So it's sad that the show had to end the way it did. I'm gonna quickly just go over a bunch of things about the season that kind of highlights, you could say, things that I liked, some things I maybe didn't like, and maybe things that if it did have a third season, I wouldn't have liked the scene been done, basically. So a couple things about this that occurred in the show. We got Red Hulk again versus Thor. I like that because of the fact that during the whole not World War Hulk, but during the whole Red Hulk thing, he did fight Thor. I mentioned this in a previous review I did when the Red Hulk first appeared. That's one of the things I hope they include in the show, is them two fighting, and if possible, maybe have them fight in space, or or maybe the moon. I thought that'd be pretty cool. Then, Thor in general, he returns a much better looking outfit as well. Then we have the Vision. I did like how they portrayed the Vision in this series. I thought they were very faithful to the comics with how his powers work and whatnot. So I'm glad they did that. Then also Spider-Man was included in the show. Now I have mixed feelings about how they portrayed Spider-Man, because they re-recorded Josh Keaton's voicing with Drake Bell, which to me was but it was very disrespectful, in my opinion, to do something like that. Especially when Josh Keaton has voiced him so many times, and whenever he's voiced the character, he's gotten such great, feedback from it. So I just think that they could have done something else with that. But yeah, we also got the Winter Soldier. They did a kind of brief 2-3 episode arc with him, and I felt that was kind of rushed. I felt they could have done more with it, but with the episodes they had left in the season, I can understand why they didn't go into it that much. But if you had no idea who the Winter Soldier was before, you might have to do some research on him, because if you just watch this show basically to get a feel for who he was, you're not going to be that informed. Then Ultron also came back. He's the one responsible for the Vision, and also he tries doing the whole Jocasta project. So I keep on mispronouncing things every once in a while, which is interesting. I'm surprised they brought that up, actually. And I thought they did a decent job with Ultron. I liked how they portrayed him as kind of in his own way, computer mad scientist mastermind, because usually they portray him as just some not dumb robot, but just some robot that has one objective and doesn't really think it through. But in this show, he came up with a whole strategic plan, as if something that a supercomputer you would expect them to do, something like that, as they'd have the ability to do those complex calculations and all the planning and whatnot. Then we also got Yellowjacket. I didn't really expect. Well, actually, I was hoping they do Yellowjacket at some point, because I am a fan of the whole Yellowjacket iteration of Hank Pym. But they did Yellowjacket, they kind of took an interesting way with it by having, I guess, Yellowjacket be more of a not carefree, but more, I guess, willing to be physical Hank Pym. So they did that, and one thing I kind of didn't like about how they had Yellowjacket was the fact that, they tried pulling off a thing where it's like Pym's dead, and now it's just Yellowjacket, which obviously ended up not working, but I guess they tried for drama or whatever. Then we have the Skrulls. Their storyline gets tied up. I thought it was very well done how they tied up the story arc. They gave it time because the Skrulls are a pretty big threat, so they do deserve the respect of having a proper storyline. And with that being said, we also got the Kree. I felt that the Kree storyline, how they did that, it was kind of odd how they really wrapped it up. With the Supreme Intelligence getting basically shut down by Captain Marvel, and that's pretty much where it left off. I actually do feel though that for season 3, if they were to make one, they would have added more with the whole Kree storyline into it, and I feel that there'd be more closure there to it, because they kind of left it off at a you don't know what could happen there kind of thing. And then we go to Galactus. Now this caught me by surprise, but I really didn't expect Galactus at all to be in the season, especially the whole big season finale or series finale villain. And I feel that I have very mixed feelings on how they portrayed Galactus. The reason being is not because he's a well-known Fantastic Four character. I have no problems with him being included in the Avengers show, as both the Avengers and Fantastic Four cover world/universal level threats nowadays. But the thing that got me was the fact that, well, one had no Silver Surfer, which did catch me off guard a bit, because I assumed that they were going to have Galactus, they would bring the Silver Surfer in. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Silver Surfer in. Then also they had the Heralds. I thought they nerfed the Heralds, and I also think that they nerfed Galactus a bit, considering the fact that the new Avengers also appeared in the season. Not all of them, but a good part of them. They appeared, and the Avengers appeared to fight the Heralds. 4 Heralds, actually, each one based off of a traditional element, being earth, wind, fire, water. So I thought they really nerfed them by the fact that, they had them defeating Heralds, which to me made no sense considering the fact that if we're talking about Galactus's Heralds, like Silver Surfer powers, the only possible hero I could see posing a threat to them would be Thor at the most. Maybe Hulk if he got really pissed off, and we're talking about like World War Hulk here. But besides that, I don't think Spider-Man should be posing a threat to a Herald whatsoever. So to me, I feel like they nerfed them there. I also feel like they nerfed Galactus in a way where, in my opinion, they shouldn't have never gone into any possible physical altercation with Galactus. No. Just no. As Reed Richards said himself, it's a force of nature. He is very... I just feel like they didn't really do justice to Galactus in this show. And by that I mean, a way I would have liked to see Galactus been done is maybe they somehow talk him out of it, or if they had Silver Surfer, maybe have Silver Surfer do something that a lot of fans would have expected him to do, which was talk him out of it, or maybe, I guess, do something which would end up having Galactus putting a barrier on the Earth, basically. So Silver Surfer is basically has to stay in the Earth, like in the comics, and he can't go out. So it's just like really things like that. And there's no way that Iron Man should have been able to hurt Galactus at all, or Miss Marvel, any of them. They should have never been able to even cause him any pain or feeling at all, in my opinion. So yeah, but overall, I still think it's a great season. If I were to rate the season overall, I'd give it a 9 out of 10 because it was very enjoyable, except for back to Galactus really quick. I do feel, though, that they should have extended the storyline more or had a different villain that connected with the rest of the season. The reason being because they really just... it was very... it was just random, really, having Galactus magically appear out of nowhere. No sort of really. They only mentioned him once, and that was the Skrulls mentioning that Galactus destroyed their homeworld. But that was it. It was just a brief kind of mention. They had a little cameo flashback. That was it. So, really having Galactus appear randomly like they did, it didn't really fit well. At least with me, I didn't really understand why they would do something like that. But for season 3, if they were to have a season 3, which I wish they would have one, I see no reason why they wouldn't go for Thanos. I am surprised they didn't go for Thanos, as he's a very well-known Avengers villain, you could say. And they had the Guardians of the Galaxy in season 2 as well, which I thought was kind of a hint towards Thanos maybe. But they didn't have Thanos, which kind of made me sad, especially with the fact that I have no doubt in my mind that if they had a season 3, they would have played up to Thanos, and they would have done or executed Thanos very well. So again, I wish I had a season 3, but it didn't have a season 3. I really quickly also want to say that with this show being over, I am going to watch the new show when it comes out. I wish for the best for it, honestly, because they're canceling one of my favorite animated shows, and doing that, I hope they come up with something else more, or not something else that's more really, but something else that has the quality that Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes have. And honestly, if Avengers Assemble has the quality and the artwork that it's been, I guess, promoted with, and also the supposedly it's going to have a great writing, production, crew and whatnot. But honestly, we don't know till we see it. If it's anything like Ultimate Spider-Man, you know me, probably I'm not going to watch it because I am sick of Ultimate Spider-Man. I haven't seen any new episodes, don't plan on seeing any new episodes until it gets its act together and decides to not basically cater to 7-year-olds constantly, when Disney needs to understand that that character has a much larger audience and they need to respect that. But I'm sorry I got sidetracked. I'm actually really tired. I'm recording this at like 1:30 in the morning. And yeah, so overall, I just want to say this is a very good season. Well done. Congratulations to basically the cast of this show for doing a good job, because I know it's really hard to come by nowadays. And by that I mean it's really hard to come by a show that not only has good writing, voice acting, and essentially characters, but also the fact that it stays like that consistently. There's only like 1 or 2 episodes that I really didn't feel for on this show. One of them being the whole one with the purple man. I didn't like that. I thought it was a random filler episode that really didn't do anything for the show. But besides that, I'm going to leave it off there. This is Hybrid. On Wednesday, I do my Marvel reviews. I have about 3 or 4 of them I'm going to upload. Then on Thursday, I have my DC reviews. So if you're interested in those, check those out, I guess. And yeah, if you like comics, check out my videos. They're all comic book related. So subscribe if you like those. That's great. Comment below your thoughts on the show, the season, thoughts on the next show coming up, or Marvel animation in general. Then, last but not least, like the video if you liked it, and I'll see everybody later.